Okay. Well, this is a special show. We've put approximately 30 minutes of effort into this show, so we really working overtime here.
We
No.
usually debate a long time in the top 10, but we knew what we wanted this year.
To be fair, we didn't spend 30 minutes of prep time. We spent a whole year.
Oh,
Okay,
well done. Yeah, well said, Ben.
These are the top 10 stories that
That's
we
right.
have brought to this podcast.
For this year, just for the year of 2023, this is the top 10 of 2023. See what happens.
I'm going to argue this year's top 10 is better than last year's, though. I'll give you that.
It's a wide variety. I mean, so was last year's, but
okay. Well, let's see. Should we start with we start now? Who goes first, by the way?
You do, and we should start now. Why not? Let's get into it.
Number 10.
This took place in off the coast of Ukraine. The man ignored mine warning signs and went to swim in the sea. While the man was in the water, an explosion occurred. And what happened was he swam into a sea mine and it detonated.
If you walked into a field and you saw a sign that said, "Caution, warning, go away, there's landmines here," would you continue walking over there?
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Unless, what am I walking there for? Is there a diamond
walk?
on the other side? Oh, I'm just going for a nice walk.
I mean, what do you think he was doing?
Number 9.
A man from Russia jumped off of the 8th floor holding an umbrella, trying to float down to the ground. And there is a perfect picture of him sitting. I don't know how they got him sitting.
No,
sitting in the air with an umbrella.
Midair.
Open, ready to go.
But it held for how many floors, guys? Let's watch. Okay, he does a somersault forward.
Right.
1, 2, 3. I think 3 floors.
I
or
think
so.
2. I think 2, but it didn't hold like that much.
Yeah. I've jumped off the roof with an umbrella. It doesn't do anything.
Number 8.
I've got a story. The headline that we chose: "Well-liked man." He was well-liked. I remember that.
This is a well-liked man.
He was very drunk all day, or was it multiple days?
Yes, he'd been drinking for 3 days.
Oh, that's right. Binge drinking for 3 days and taking drugs. And there was a purse at the end of the banister of his stairs, and he laid there kind of with his head on the end of the banister, taking a rest, as you do of 3 days of binging, and fell asleep and slipped and choked himself in this purse or handbag that was draped across this banister.
So, like,
himself out.
The thought of him just fumbling around in the purse looking for something and
Could
passing
be
out.
looking for pills.
What's in here?
They say that he had been in a jovial and happy mood after he had consumed 10 liters of spirits and cocaine over the course of the 3 days.
Yeah.
Number 7.
Okay, well, this man, Cesar, is 30 years old, and he bled to death after his arm was chopped off by a small plane, the propeller of a plane. Do you guys remember what he was doing at the moment that his arm got chopped off?
He's fighting Indiana Jones.
Yes, he was fighting.
He was like FaceTiming or taking a selfie. I can't remember.
That's right. This dude was taking a video of the plane taking off, but he's recording it selfie style. So he's looking back. The plane's behind him, taking the selfie. And somehow it chopped his arm off. Now, we don't know if it chopped the arm off that he was holding the phone with, or if it was like an arm that he was pointing with to the plane backwards behind his video. We're unaware, but we know that he got close enough to the propeller for it to chop his arm off, which ultimately resulted in his death.
I like to think of it as the Monty Python, thing where he gets his arm cut off and he looks at it. He's like, oh, my
Keeps
arm.
recording.
Oh, my arm's cut off. Yeah.
It's just a flesh wound.
Number 6.
This is a TikToking family who likes to, I don't know if they try to make popular videos. This one did get popular because of an accidental death. This involves a husband and a wife filming a TikTok video in which the wife is driving a car and the man is on the hood doing who knows what. Yes, and what happened was, I guess she must have come to a stop or something, and he rolled forward, and then somehow she kept going and ran him over. Is how it happened. Now, the detail of this story that's most important is that She doesn't know how to drive. She doesn't have her license.
Yeah, she doesn't have a
That
license.
doesn't help the
He's like-
situation. It's a little interesting.
Anytime a TikToker dies doing TikTok-talky stuff, it deserves a
What is
mention.
that? A bullet shots? What do you
No, zoom in. Those are stickers, probably of them.
Close as I
of
can
them?
get.
Oh man, so they
Had
got
some
little faces on the
silly
side of the
stickers.
car.
Yeah, these
'Cause
people.
They're so popular.
They're stupid Passat.
Wait, what is that? Is that a handicap sticker? That's a handicap
Dude,
sticker.
that
Was
does
his
look
wife
like
handicapped too?
Maybe he was.
They were handicapped.
Number 5.
This is you guys remember this? The man who punched a camel.
Oh
and
yeah,
it
we have
killed
a video.
him for doing so. It says a video has appeared where on the internet where a man punches the animal in the head.
Look at him. He's
Well,
just
he did.
angry
He just-
for no reason.
He's trying
Grabbed
to
it
move
by
it.
like the reins and just punched it in the face. He's doing it again.
He's like, get over here.
Well, that camel like really beats the crap out of him.
It like
Oh, it trampled him to death.
All right, well, that was Darwin. What was number 5? The camel puncher, huh? Camel punch sounds like some sort of horrific
Right?
thing. Like
It's
it's
like,
like a dirty.
What was he?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
When you guys used to like knee me
Joe.
in the leg, what did we call that?
I
Charlie
dead
horse.
leg. I gave one of those to
Charlie-
my
dead
son
leg,
just
Charlie
today.
horse, a camel punch. I get it. It's one of those. Things.
No, camel punch is a little higher.
Number 4.
Okay, so here we go. This a gentleman who's 34 years old running from the police. And when you're running from the police, Adam knows this. When you're running from the police,
Bad things happen.
they will sick the dogs on you. The
Bring it
truth
on.
is, this guy wasn't actually even running from the police. He heard that there were police in the area,
And
and he took
ran.
off running.
Because he was that. He thought he was in trouble.
It was
They
that.
weren't even searching for him. But a few days later, he was found in the basement of this house that you see if you're watching on YouTube. Basement of a house he had climbed into when he was trying to flee. He climbed into a freezer.
Like a deep freezer you put in your garage.
That's
Mhm.
right. The freezer, though, was not on. And even the electric service to the home was disconnected. It was a vacant home. The freezer was described as an
Midwest.
older model with a latching mechanism on the outside that makes it impossible for it to be pushed open from the inside. The news release also says that evidence at the scene indicates that Bushman entered the freezer on his own.
No, we did talk about this. He used a lawn ornament. That's right.
The evidence includes a rod from a metal lawn ornament that had been inserted from inside the freezer toward the latching mechanism. It was jammed between the gasket and the metal edge of the freezer, which prevented it from releasing the latching mechanism from inside the unit. So he just got stuck in there and he just died in the
Stupidity.
freezer. Yep.
It's great.
Number 3.
This is a great story. Ben loves it. I loved it. We all knew it had to be in the top 3 right off the bat.
Right off the bat.
Now, this is a story Joe brought to the podcast probably 6 months ago, I'm going to guess, or longer. At this point, it's hard to remember, but it has to do with a man and a homemade or adjusted type of BB gun and a cat. Okay.
I love this story. So good.
This man, for whatever reason, he was trying to kill a cat in his backyard. Anyway, so he was trying to shoot cats, and I guess the cat outsmarted him because he shot at a cat. I guess he missed. The projectile hit something else, ricocheted, and hit him right in the forehead, where he died. That has to be 1 in a million shot, right? To, like,
Yeah.
shoot straight back.
But he
at
was
you.
using like a gun.
He had
not
a
BB gun. So
modified
he's trying
BB
to kill.
gun. Yeah, definitely.
He's trying to kill a cat.
Well, it says in the article, he was listening to country music with a friend when he decided to go to the backyard and kill a cat.
Country man. That sounds right.
Number 2.
All right.
All right, number 2 on our top 10 Darwin Award deaths from this year is the bulletproof charm episode that we did. He's a 27-year-old ex-convict and self-proclaimed cultist.
I
And
am
he
a
was-
cultist, he says.
He's testing the efficacy of a new bulletproof charm he was using.
A spell, if you will.
A spell. Yeah,
Yeah.
to test the efficacy of the charms, Tunde, don't know how to say it, asked his friend Bode to shoot him first. And his friend picked up the gun and Shot him.
His friend just shot him like in the chest or wherever, and he died. You can't, we'd said this. Why can't you shoot him in the arm and see if it works?
Yes.
That's not how that works.
He believed that he found a charm that would make him bulletproof.
It seems sane to me.
Yeah.
Completely normal.
I don't understand what's wrong with this.
All right. Well, that's why we're here in the top two.
It didn't work today, but another day it might.
Maybe-
maybe he
yeah.
didn't have quite enough chicken bones or whatever he was
Yeah.
making of the broth.
Yeah.
But there's something.
He
This
didn't
charm.
He didn't say it right. He just missed a word or two.
You
but-
don't get to Mars if you don't land on the moon first.
Number 1.
Okay, so this story is out of Brazil. This gentleman is known as the gun-owning lawyer. Those of you who are longtime listeners to the podcast throughout the year, you may remember this one because it's
Oh
a
my
classic
gosh,
story. Could be
I
the best one of
forgot.
the year. All right, well, this guy, do you guys remember why he was in the hospital to begin with?
Was he visiting somebody who was
Yeah,
getting it?
I don't think it was for himself.
No, his mother was getting an MRI. So
Mhm.
he was in the hospital visiting his mother. And unfortunately, he didn't listen. He even signed a thing saying he wouldn't bring metal into the MRI room. And he did it. He left his gun in his belt. He left it
Yeah.
with a bullet in it.
Well, you have to keep the
imagine.
gun in case somebody attacks you while you're in there.
Leandro had a gun on his waist and approached to help position his mother. He was about 1 meter away from the machine when the gun was attracted like a magnet and shot towards the abdomen after hitting the wall of the medical device.
It's insane.
So he's about 3 feet away. The gun flies out of his waist pants, hits the MRI machine, and fires at him and shoots him in the stomach.
Imagine it is aimed at him.
That is
'cause it is
insane. He must have had the safety off too. Like, I don't know how it just fires. I don't know.
Yes, well, poor Leandro died right there in the hospital. It took him a few days, but
That is insane
died.
that it did that. Oh, I love that story so much.
I think the only other story we've had that rivals it was from one of our first episodes. Tell me if you remember this story. A guy is using the butt of a knife to smash up firecrackers that have gunpowder in them. He hits the knife to the gunpowder. The gunpowder explodes, and the knife shoots out into his
His
eye.
eye, yep, it
and
kills
him. And I was like, what a shot, what a bullseye. I think this is even more of a chance, like a weirdo chance. Because it could have easily shot his mother or one of the
Oh
doctors. too.
man, that would have been horrible.
So let's end this, guys. Do you have any predictions for the podcast for 2024? Or no, forget it. Forget the podcast. Predictions for 2024.
Dodgers win the World Series. I score like a 93 in golf, and
Okay. Really shooting for
Joe
the stars.
loses like 30 pounds on the potato diet.